5 hours of just me focusing on coding. Let's see how much I end up learning. I do have it on pause because I'm going through JavaScript with them, which I said I wasn't gonna record, but then I changed my mind. It's my channel. I can change my mind. But as of right now, I'm about to take some notes just on what I learned. They taught me a bit about const, so I'm gonna take the notes that I need to know about that, then move forward. And yeah, so I'm gonna be taking y'all along with me. So what I learned about const is that when you declare a const variable, they are special because they cannot be reassigned and it needs a value. You cannot create a const variable without a value. It needs one and you cannot change one, otherwise it would arise in an error. Now where I'm confused is it possible to just delete the whole const variable altogether, or would it automatically stay in the console even if you delete the line? So we are at step 32. You are now ready to start building your pyramid generator. I completely forgot that's what the hell we were doing here. They taught me so many different things, I was lost. So your character variable will serve as the building block for the pyramid. So hello might not work very well. Change that value to the character hashtag. But I thought we were told we can't do stuff like this. But okay. Oh, bro, that is not the hashtag. Where the hell is my, oh, okay. So we did that. That was definitely very simple. On to the next one. Now, when I take notes, I know you guys probably would be sitting here like, why are you taking a note for that if all you had to do was just change hello to a hashtag? But it's because I like to write down every step that I took to do it. And I write down little stuff. I just write slow. So what I probably would write is just change hello to hashtag, because sometimes I will find it beneficial to come back to these notes when I get confused, and it will help me because I wrote down every step and it broke down how and why I had to do it, and so it reteaches me, and I really like that type of concept. So what I'm going to do is now I just write the code a little bit, Google, and see if I can't change a const. Wait, actually, can I change a const value by deleting it? Generally not possible to change a const value by deleting it directly, although behavior may vary depending on the programming language. So I guess they're probably teaching me something that's not necessarily, oh, it says delete my const. I honestly think, because the thing is like with Google, it's kind of hard to find the answer. In JavaScript, if a variable is declared with a const, it means that binding the value can't be reassigned. However, if the const refers to an object or array, the contents can still be changed, so you just can't assign a new object to that variable. So I can change, you're basically telling me I can change the value. That is actually very confusing. I don't know if they just told me to do it because this is like a tutorial, but that's very confusing for me. And I don't think ChatGPT or Google helped very much with that answer. So y'all can let me know. So I ended up learning a little bit more in JavaScript, especially with loops, and especially the for loop. That is the one loop that I ended up learning. So I learned about iteration, condition, and iterate. What the hell is the first one? I always get them wrong because they sound, it's iterator and then iteration. So I learned about iterator, condition, and iteration. And what I learned about that, which I took a bunch of notes for here. So we got iteration being the process of repeating a set of instructions until a certain amount or a certain condition is met, right? And the condition would necessarily be, let's say you say something, you say I is less than 5. That would end up going into what, because obviously let's say I is 6, then that wouldn't be accurate, so it would be false. So it wouldn't print into the console log 6, it would only print what's below 5. I hear that initiation is the act of setting a starting value for a variable or loop before any logic run. So basically, you would have initiation and it would be what creates the value. So it would be let I equal 0. Then you got condition, which would be I is less than 5. And then you got iteration, which could be like I++, which would be increments I by 1 on each loop, something like that. And I ended up learning the for of a loop, which is, I guess, a way of technically not necessarily changing anything, but it allows it. They had a really good definition for it. The reason why I don't really know how to say it out loud is because I think the more you learn it, the more the vocabulary is able to come out of your words. If I try to explain what the hell happened, it's not going to come out correctly. It iterates over each item in an iterable object and temporarily assigns it to a variable is the way that you would pronounce that, which I just would not say it like that whatsoever. And I think some examples would be like arrays, it would be string, maps, sets, etc., right? And I thought that was a pretty cool thing to end up learning. And then they also taught me just a little bit that with object properties, it would be different. It would actually be a for in loop. So, it is a bit confusing. Especially when you can't really see the code. Like well, I'm sure some of y'all are probably listening to this, you're probably further than me. If you're not, then you're probably like, what the hell did you just say? And honestly, I'm a little bit there too, like, huh, you know what I'm saying? And I think what kind of confuses me with the for of a loop is that, so I'm guessing it's a temporary move. But my thing is like, why would you want to do that? I think that would be my answer. I probably would want to look that up. It's like, why would you want to temporarily make something attached to an array, like make your variable attached to an array? And then if so, temporarily, like for how long, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I'm getting confused, because it sucks with JavaScript and the console log thing is that you kind of can't see it, but you can. And I think that's where my confusion is coming in. It's good to know the basics of HTML, know the basics of CSS, and know the basics of JavaScript at the same time, so you can understand why certain things need to work together. But I do realize I need to really hone my skills on CSS, because I think I can do easy stuff. Like I can definitely make a website. I haven't learned how to make a header or a navigation bar. And when I mean header, I mean like the thing that stays like at the top and then it has the navigation bar there, maybe a search bar. I don't really know how to do those certain things, like especially with a search bar and how you connect that to your headers or, you know, different parts of your website. So that's something that I was realizing, like, oh, I don't even know how to do, which I think most of it is probably JavaScript, but even just getting it on the page and possibly making it clickable and then obviously leaving the interactivity to JavaScript, I don't really know how to do. And so I was like, you know what, I gotta be real with myself. I really need to hone down back on these CSS skills, because I don't actually know how to make some of those stuff. And especially too, I was looking at a website that tests your CSS skills and they wanted me to make like a clock. And I was like, ooh, I actually don't know too much, because like I can definitely obviously write all that in HTML, but how the hell do I put that in a round circle, yada yada? And that's where I was kind of like, and I think I could personally do it if I really sat down and took my time, but it just was like, damn, this isn't something that is coming like second nature. Like I think I need to still hone my skills of CSS and being able to really, you know, just get it. So I'm hoping that maybe Free Code Camp can continue to show me that. They're actually about to show me in Free Code Camp. Let me go look. They're about to show me a CSS box model by building a Rothko painting. Y'all, I'm here about to learn the CSS box model by building a Rothko painting, which I think a part of me already knows the box model, but who knows? Let's just continue going and see if maybe I don't. So we got to start off with the basics here. So we got to start off with doc type. Let's just run through this, figure that out. So within the head element, add a meta tag which sets the char set to UTF painting. Perfect. With the body element, add an image. Oh my gosh, I haven't added an image in so long, y'all. This is scary. Image src equals, I believe this is how you would do it. Every HTML element is treated as a box with 4 areas. So imagine you receive a box from your favorite online retailer. The content is in the item in the box, and in height, which is something I do need help with, because I've been forgetting how, like, I don't really know how to use height, and I think it's because we need to put like big numbers in there. So we got 600 px. What is this looking like? Oh, we got nothing. Oops, why did I just click that one? The crowd goes wild is crazy. So I'm probably going to end up doing that, but going from step by step, I don't think I really need to do that as of right now. Oh, I'm surprised they let that pass. I didn't close it. I did not close. I don't even think I still closed that right. I'm thinking of oh no, I did. Okay. Oh, the video is done, so I'm going to download this and probably put this in a folder where it's going to be called Learning Box Model, which I kind of already knew, but you know, good for a YouTube title, and you know that it is teaching me box model, you know, do too much. So I'm going to preview this and we're going to drag this immediately up here, while also being able to see whatever the hell I'm coding. So that makes that very much easier, man. And I'm just so ecstatic to be able to be learning so much in one day. Learning a bit more about what overflow means. So I guess basically overflow is you're trying to control the content that may overflow out, meaning it spills out of the boundaries of the container, which some people put visible, so it means the content overflows the box and is still visible, that there's no clipping. Sometimes you could put hidden, which is the one that they made me put, which means it will end up being cut off, so anything that is outside the box won't show, which is, you know, like I said, which is very nice. And this is how I feel like people should end up studying. You know, if you feel like you run into something that you are confused about, don't keep going. You should stop, and then you should necessarily ask for a definition, maybe some examples and where it would be used, you know, to be able to, a general overview for you to be able to, you know, understand what is going on. But like I said, I'm just trying to learn, hopefully enough to be able to get to a point, and I'm hoping like in 3 months, like in a total of 3 months of really learning everything, that I can get to a point where there's really no more to learn. Like I kind of just know it, and not no more to learn in the sense of like I literally know everything, but in the sense of I don't need to always need to be taking notes like this as if like I'm a student, which I will always be a student, right? I will always be learning, but I wouldn't need to full-blown be going through courses and taking notes, because I kind of already finished the courses, or it's easy to me already, so I can just proceed in things that are a bit harder, which are still of course going to teach me things, but it's not that as if like because I'm constantly in this notebook, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm constantly in this notebook, I'm constantly building, and I want to be able to just be constantly building, and then sometimes maybe come here to add something, because I know that coding is definitely a constant learning process, and life is a learning process. But you know how sometimes in life, you know, you learn from it without having to pull your notebook out and start taking notes. That's personally how I feel, and I want to end up getting with coding. So when I get to that point, I can end up, you know, just being able to really focus on IT, which I don't think IT probably isn't going to take as long as I'm thinking. As long as like I understand what is being told. And honestly, I think you could really learn anything that you put your mind to, truly. That's why me learning isn't the issue. It's about my stress level, because I'm someone who I can learn anything, but I put too much pressure on myself, and because of that I feel like it can, you know, hold me in my position, and I really don't want to stay like that. So hopefully, you know, that would be the case. Also too, like I wouldn't mind just being like a programming YouTuber. Like if I can make YouTube content of me creating, you know, these beautiful websites or creating video games, like that would be pretty nice too. I wouldn't mind going crazy off of this YouTube channel and being able to code for this YouTube channel, or you know, going crazy off of actually getting into a web design field, or even going crazy getting into being a IT person, and then maybe even pushing that a little further and becoming a software engineer, or possibly even, you know, just there's so much that you can end up doing in all those fields when you actually learn it. And that's really what my intentions are going to be, and I think that's going to be really, really amazing, you know. So now we're going to start with the normal one, which is the width. Normally that's what people start with, so you can really see everything, and they're putting a lot of width in there. So did I write that wrong? You know, just a couple of years ago I wouldn't have even known that this would have been something that I would be doing. I mean, I tried to go through computer science, but you know, computer science wasn't hard, it was just not for me. I feel like at the time it was too much at the time, and I think I should have really pursued it. I'm not mad at myself though, because I think I do have way more fun creating websites, and I think I would be pissed if all I knew was back end. And I had no idea what front end was, and then imagine not being able to get hired, and I can't even like I would have to learn front end, but I feel like learning front end feels very easy. Like this actually feels very easy.